Swate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So we are going to hear Srila Prabhupada's lecture today. The lecture given on the disappearance of his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Namang Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Te Namine Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur passed away from this material world on 31st December 1936. So, almost 40 years passed. So there are two phases, prakat and aprakat, appearance and disappearance. So we have nothing to lament on account of disappearance, because Krishna and Krishna's devotees, not only devotees, even the non-devotees, nobody disappears. Nobody disappears because every living entity, as Krishna is eternal, it is confirmed in the Vedic literature, Nitya Nityana, Chaitana Chaitanana. The description of the Supreme Lord is that He is also Nitya, eternal, and the living entities are also eternal. But He is the chief eternal. Nitya Nityanam Chaitana Chaitana. So qualitatively, there is no difference between Krishna and the living entities. And quantitatively, there is difference. What is the difference between Nitya, the singular number Nitya, and the plural number Nitya? The plural number Nitya is subordinate, eternal servants of the singular number Nitya. Just like if you want to serve somebody, so the master is also exactly like you. He has got two hands, two legs, or the same sentiments. He also eats. Everything is same there. But the difference is the master and the servant. That's all. Otherwise, equal in every respect. So spiritually, appearance and disappearance, there is no difference. Just like in material point of view, if a person takes birth, suppose you get a son born, you become very happy. The same son, when passes away, you become very unhappy. This is material. And spiritually, there is no such difference. Appearance or disappearance. So although this is the disappearance day of Om Vishwas, Shishyamad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so there is nothing to be lamented. Although we feel separation, that feeling is there, but spiritually there is no difference between appearance and disappearance. There is a song, Narottam Das Thakur's song, Jyanila Premodhana. Do you know anyone of you? Can you sing that song, anyone? Jyanila Premodhana, Karuna Prachur, Heno Prabhu Kotha Gala. I don't remember exactly the whole song. That is our lamentation. That's Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur brought this message to distribute all over. Of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed his desire that Prithivite ache jato nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe morna. He predicted that all over the world, as many towns and villages are there, everywhere my name will be known. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name, which is now attempted now, it is being actually. To execute this will of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said personally, Bharat bhumite manusya janma hoilo ja, janma sarthak kari karo paropoka. He wanted that his name should be broadcast all over the world, in every town, every village. And who would do it? That he asked, that anyone who has taken birth in Bharatvarsha, India, it is his duty, first of all, make himself perfect by understanding the philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then broadcast it, distribute it. This was the duty of every Indian. The Indian, especially in India, they have got the privilege to take advantage of the Vedic literature. In other countries, there is no such advantage. So, if anyone wants to make his life perfect, then he has to take advantage of the vast treasure house of Indian spiritual knowledge. Even one Chinese gentleman, he has written one book about religion, that is a course in New York University. So he has said that if you want to know something of religion, then you have to go to India. That's a fact. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that every Indian, there is a need of broadcasting this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. So it is the duty of every Indian to, first of all, make his life perfect. He must know. Perfection means he must know what is his position and what he has to do. That is perfection. At the present moment, people do not know what he is, even whether he is this body or something extra. The big scientists, they are also failure. This is perfection. First of all, one must know what he is, whether he is this body or something beyond this body. This is the beginning of spiritual knowledge. So that advantage is there in India by culture, by education. Therefore Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested that Indians, Bharatiya, Bharatvarsh, those who have taken birth as human beings, he doesn't speak to the animals. Bharat Bhumite Manushya Janma. Manushya Janma means human being. Because without being human being, nobody can understand these things. The cats and dogs, they cannot understand. So a person whose behavior is like cats and dogs, he also cannot understand. Therefore he said, Janma sarthak kori. First of all, make your life perfect and then distribute this knowledge. This is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So he simply said, but he was expecting that in later days his followers would do that. So that attempt was made by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he desired and that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message is to be accepted by East and West equally. And both the Indians and the Europeans, Americans, they should dance together in ecstasy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. That was his desire, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He simply expressed this desire. When I shall see this happening, that both the Eastern and Western people, they are united on the basis of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult and dancing together in ecstasy. That was his ambition. This was ambition of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and this was the ambition of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took up this affair, business, and he wanted, first of all. So, every student, any disciple, especially those who are competent, he requested that you take up this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and preach in the Western countries. That was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur first attempt. Before that, even the Acharyas, Rupanuga, Goswamis, they left literature, but they did not attempt to preach practically. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was very, very anxious to preach this Chaitanya cult in the Western countries. That is, see, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's special contribution. So, when I met Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it is a long story how I met him. One of my friends, he dragged me. I was at that time nationalist and manager in a big chemical factory. My age was about 24 years. So one of my friend, he asked me, there is a nice sadhu, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he has come in Calcutta. So let us go and see. So I was reluctant. I thought, just like, so there are so many sadhus. So I am not very much, because I had very bad experience, not very good. So I said, there are this kind of sadhus, there are many. You'll be glad to know that even in young age or early age, it was Krishna's grace, even amongst my young friends, I was considered the leader. In my school days, in my college days, in my private friendship, somehow or other, I became their leader. And one astrologer, sometimes he read my hands, he said in Hindi, Hukum chalega. Hukum chalega means your hand speaks that your order will be executed. So anyway, it was Krishna's grace. I would not go, but their point of view was that unless I certify that sadhu, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he will not be accepted. Therefore he dragged me. So I went to see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on that day. On the first meeting, just we offer our obeisances. It is the practice. So immediately began his talking that you are all educated young men, why didn't you take us Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult and preach all over the English-knowing public? Why didn't you take up this matter? So I argued with him in some way. At that time I was nationalist. So I told that who will accept our message? We are dependent nation. Nobody will care. In this way, in my own way, in these younger days. But we belong to the Vaishnava family. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Radha Govinda. That is our worshipful duty, worshipful deity. So I was very glad that Radha Krishna cult, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this sadhu is trying to preach. It is very nice. So at that time we had some talks, and of course I was defeated by his argument, my argument. And then when we came out, we are offered prasadam, very nice treatment, it's a Gaudiya Math. And when I came out on the street, this my friend asked me, what is your opinion of this sadhu? Then I said that here is the right person who has taken up Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message, and now it will be distributed. So I was, at that time, a fool, but I opined like this, and I accepted him as my spiritual master immediately. Not officially, but in my heart. That was in 1922. Then, in 1923, I left Calcutta on my business tour, and I made my headquarters at Allahabad. Allahabad is about 500 miles from Calcutta. So I was thinking that I met a very nice, saintly person. That was my thinking, always. So in this way, in 1928, there was a Kumbh Mela. At that time, these Gaurimat people came to Allahabad to establish a center there. And somebody informed them that you go to that Prayag pharmacy. My drug shop was named as Prayag Pharmacy. My name was also there. You go and see Abhay Babu. He is religiously, he will help you. These Gaurimat people, they came to me. So, sir, we have come to you, we have heard your good name, so we want to start a temple here. Please try to help us. Because I was thinking of these Gaurimat people that I met, very nice, central part. As soon as I saw them, I was very much glad. Oh, here are these persons, they have come again. Oh. So in this way, gradually, I became attached to these Gauriya activities, and by the grace of Krishna, my business also was not going very well. Yeah. Krishna says, "Jasahon anigrinami hariseta dhanam sane." If somebody wants to be actually devotee of Krishna, at the same time keeps his material attachment, then Krishna's business is he takes away everything material so that same person he becomes, dependent on Krishna. So that actually happened to my life. I was obliged to come to this movement, to take up this very seriously. And I was dreaming that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling me, please come out with me. So I was sometimes horrified. Oh, what is this? I have to give up my family life. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling me. I have to take sannyas. Oh, I was horrified. But I saw several times calling me. So anyway, it is by his grace I was forced to give up my family life and so-called business life. And he brought me somewhere or other in preaching his gospel. So, this is a memorable day. What he deserved, I am trying little bit, and you are all helping me. So I have to thank you more. You are actually representative of my Guru Maharaj. Because you are helping me in executing the order of my Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
That was amazing, especially the end. The way he's glorifying his guru and thanking his disciples. What a way to acknowledge his guru. So yesterday, I mean, most of everybody that is on today knows that yesterday was Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day anniversary. So we just heard him speak, heard him glorify his spiritual master. So I thought we could take some time today to glorify him in our own words, in our own way. We are nowhere near his status, not that we are trying to imitate him, but we should acknowledge what he has done for us. So, and Archana Bhakti Mataji is here. If you have questions, she can answer, and we'll go from there. So anybody who wants to go first, please go ahead. And yeah, like I said, it doesn't, it's not like we will be able to speak like him, but we should show our gratitude. So whoever would like to go first. You're on mute, Mataji.
Sorry, Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very like large part of the lecture is kind of touching our hearts. So humble. Like we can feel it. What was throbbing in his heart. So Mataji, should I ask question or glorify? I can do anything.
Both, Prabhu, you can ask a question.
Okay. So let me first ask the question, then I have something to say. I can say if it is okay. So the first question is like many times we try to introspect our own journey in this path of self-realization, and one of the point in this today's lecture was mentioned about Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji mission regarding the like preaching and giving this knowledge to others. But then there is a condition that one of the condition was mentioned in that was one should become perfect. And while that sentence was spoken, so I thought, what is the parameter to see ourselves that we are perfect? Then in the second stanza after that, there was an explanation made that, okay, perfection just means that one identified its constitutional position, who is, and he is not this body. So I was able to gather that much. So knowing that, would that be only the sufficient perfection, or is there any like I'm just trying to understand from senior devotees, what would be it to our own capacity? Can we do it, or is there any perfection parameters we have to set for ourselves? Like, okay, this is what I will do it, and then I can go and tell. Because I don't see myself, like I always believe in my thing is we cannot be absolute perfect, because Krishna is the absolute perfect. And what would be the, and if we don't strive it, then how would we progress? Because I see my progress while trying to preach too. So I mean, can you please humbly, and please accept my humble obeisances.
Please accept my humble obeisances from you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So yeah, Prabhupada answered there. Perfection means you should know what is your position, and then you have to act according to that knowledge. So as you said, to understand our constitutional position and then to act according to that, both are required. And is that sufficient? So it's a journey. It's a journey. But first important thing is you have to get the knowledge from the right source, and then you repeat. And that is that is what is expected. You get the knowledge from the right source and you live according to it, and then you share it with others. And as it is said, as much as atta you have, that many rotis are made. So whatever my realization and whatever knowledge I receive, that much I can share. That does not mean that I have to know everything. Yeah, everything, no. And also, as you said, in the course of your sharing it with others, you get more realizations. You make advancement yourself. So don't wait for that perfect day when you will have enough in it. As much as I have understood, let me share that with others. I have learned one shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Let me tell another person about this shloka that I have read today. That is good. That is preaching.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So actually, I was yesterday in the temple, and Vindhyavali Mataji gave me opportunity to speak. So actually, I will repeat some of it if some of them are not in the temple. Like I was just saying yesterday, because I'm just hearing this lecture and I have no qualification to say anything. But when one of the qualities which was mentioned about the silence, so if I was not hearing this lecture, I would always think, okay, silence would mean not to talk. But now Srila Prabhupada, after hearing him, he says silence, because we have urge to talk and we cannot stop doing that. So silence means only to talk about Krishna. And give to others. So it means that Srila Prabhupada was very silent person because he only talked about Krishna all the time, and what was throbbing in his heart was only Krishna all the time. He was, we can say it, he's a pure devotee of Krishna, and he humbly put together today's lecture, glorifying his Guru Maharaj. So if I have not heard Srila Prabhupada, neither came across the Bhagavad Gita knowledge, for me Krishna is a really abstract, to conceptualize what really the Krishna is. But after hearing Srila Prabhupada, Krishna is, I can see from Srila Prabhupada eyes that how Krishna is, because it's very difficult, because we see in an impression form of the deity's form, but that is just an artwork, we see it. But when we want to really know Krishna, who really Krishna is, then we can see an exemplary example of Srila Prabhupada. And how would we, because somehow I'm talking about me, but I see we do have pride. That is what the obstacle in the path of the devotion. And nobody wants to surrender to him. Nobody wants to झुकना नहीं है किसके तरफ, तो झुकने की भावना, I mean, to pay the obeisances. How would we really come? So to that, to see that, to clear our abstract thinking, I'm going to read this wonderful, because I was trying to see how wonderful work Srila Prabhupada has done. So His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, the evangelic angel between 1968 to 1977. He dedicated total of 22,000 pages of text. He translated and wrote purport to 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Reading one verse with purport daily would take the reader 49.31 years to complete. He translated and wrote the purport to the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. Reading one verse with purport daily would take 2 years to complete. He translated and wrote the purport to 17 volumes of Chaitanya Charita Amrit, in total of 2170 pages, or 11,555 verses. Reading one verse with purport daily would take the reader 31.6 years to complete. Reading one page daily would take 5.9 years to complete. He also wrote Teaching of Lord Chaitanya, Nectar of Devotion, Teaching of Lord Kapil Dev, Sri Isha Upanishad. He created Back to Godhead magazine, which was monthly distributed in 1 million copies. He wrote 7,000 letters to his disciples, which was published in 5 volumes of books. Only Srimad Bhagavatam lecture he gave are compiled in 11 volumes of books. Bhagavad Gita lectures are compiled in 7 volumes of books. His conversation have been compiled in 42 volumes of books. He produced innumerable recordings. He established 108 temples. He published 147 books. Reading one book monthly would take 13 years. If one has to start reading one book monthly now in 2022, then it will take 17 years to finish. He traveled around the world 14 times. Besides this, he changed lives of at least 10,000 people who became his initiating disciples. And all of this Srila Prabhupada did in only 11 years in the age between 70 to 80. So at the age of 70 to 80, general tendency in our society, people are counting their retirement and checking their statement and busy only like how much I have money. And at that age when he came, he had 2 heart attacks and after going through so much pain physically in his body, तो झुकना नहीं है, वो झुकने की भावना है. तो how will somebody pay obeisances to him? तो झुकने की भावना, वो pride, how will we reduce our pride? Because we can only see Krishna through Srila Guru Prabhupada only. That was my idea of glorifying him, because I don't know a lot, but I came across this, so I wanted to humbly share to everyone. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. And it's a very bona fide way of thinking. I have heard it also in the glorification of some Prabhupada disciples. They, in their offerings, they said, I don't know Krishna. I don't know Radharani. I don't know Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I don't know Nityananda Prabhu. But I know something about Srila Prabhupada. And because of knowing whatever, it is only through Srila Prabhupada I'm able to understand whatever about Krishna. So also, this is also a glorification by His Holiness Niranjan Maharaj on the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. He said that people say that I will, like yesterday we were discussing in Bhagavad Gita. People say that I will know Krishna, or Krishna will speak to me. But there is a qualification. We cannot know Krishna. We cannot see Krishna. As you said, we see the deity, but what do we understand when we see the deity? When Krishna reveals it in our heart, then we will be able to understand something. But Krishna has a condition. When will he speak to you? When will he speak to me? He will only speak to his devotees who are engaged always in rendering devotional service to him with great love. How will I know how to render devotional service? There I will need a spiritual master. So I won't know how to render devotional service. Until I render devotional service, Krishna won't speak to me. Krishna won't reveal himself to me. How I can know anything about Krishna? So we are eternally, and yes, Srila Prabhupada's pastimes were, apparently on this earth. His manifest pastimes ended on November 14, 1977. But actually they didn't end. They didn't end. So that was the manifest pastime, and now there is unmanifest pastimes. And this will continue. It will continue. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission goes for 10,000 years after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Prabhupada has opened it to the whole world. He's not a spiritual master just for his disciples. He is the spiritual master for everyone. And his Leela is continuing. Otherwise, just yesterday, we were watching, we were just discussing, do you have any example of any leader, any religious leader that for 50 years after him, still thousands of people are worshipping him every day? You see, when they offer Guru Puja, especially when you see in Vrindavan and Mayapur, you will see so many hundreds and hundreds of people. They come every day to worship Srila Prabhupada. Where do you find such a person? So is it possible that somebody who is gone and people are worshipping? No. No, he's still there and he's reciprocating. But there is a condition. To whom is he still there? With whom is he always there? With the follower who's following his instructions. That is why this concept, this idea of Disappearance Day, like Srila Prabhupada said in this lecture, that there's no difference between appearance and disappearance. Why? Because, Prabhuji, you can mute yourself. I'm hearing echo. Yeah. So, there is no difference between appearance and disappearance, because even after disappearance, or physically his vapu is not there, but he's still living with the disciple, as long as the disciple is following the instruction of the spiritual master. The only time when we will not feel his presence is when we are not following his instruction. And also all this is said by Srila Prabhupada in his purports of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada says there, this is in the 4th canto, Puranjana, when he takes birth again as Vaidarbhi, the daughter of King Vidarbha, and her husband is Malayadwaja. When Malayadwaja passes away, then what is the condition of Vaidarbhi? Vaidarbhi was King Puranjana in previous life. Because of attachment to his wife, now he has taken birth as a woman, Vaidarbhi. But when she's lamenting, the husband has taken, he left home to go to the forest. As a chaste wife, she followed her husband, and she was rendering service to him while he was completely absorbed in his meditation. And he even left his body. When she realized that he left his body, what was her suffering? So there in those purports, Srila Prabhupada explains, this is figuratively the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. So when the spiritual master departs, the disciple must cry for the spiritual master. Just like Vaidarbhi, the wife, is crying, what will happen to me in this world? There are so many rogues around here. How will I live here? So a disciple must cry for the spiritual master. But where will he get his solace? So then after that, a Brahmana comes to pacify Vaidarbhi. Who is that Brahmana? That Brahmana is Paramatma. Paramatma was there with her in her previous life as Puranjana, as the friend of Puranjana. He was there. And now, because he has changed his body, he has forgotten everything. So now he's able to, now the same friend has come to pacify. That means the Lord is there in our heart, but we don't have access to him. We are not able to hear what he's saying. But when we follow the instructions of the spiritual master, then through those instructions, we will be able to meet Krishna. We will be able to meet Krishna by following the instructions of the spiritual master. So therefore, our only rope that we have to hold on to in the absence of the spiritual master is his instructions, his Vani. So that is why we are so fortunate. Just now, Prabhuji has given us, the numbers. Srila Prabhupada himself said that you have enough material for a whole lifetime. Still, you won't be able to digest everything. One lifetime is not sufficient. So much we have. What is all? This is Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Srila Prabhupada said, I have given everything in my books. So that is why we are distributing these books. We must study these books. We should absorb ourselves, because this is our association with Srila Prabhupada. And then there are instructions that we have to live by. And when we adopt this, then he is always living with us. We are living with him. There's no question of separation. Golokananda Priya Mataji, you raised your hand.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Very nicely said.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, no, I was doing some service and listening at the same time. I was just dressing, doing the Devi and doing the same. I'm just saying the first thing that I take away with that, Prabhupada humility, how he thanked his disciple and he became emotional,
Yeah.
emotional. So he didn't take the credit. He gave the credit all to his guru and his disciple. So
Yeah.
this is one thing we can learn. Whatever service we're doing, we should always, be grateful to Srila Prabhupada and to his disciple and to his devotees who are following. And there's so many devotees have done so much service for Prabhupada for so many years,
Yeah.
So if we can just give them a word of appreciation, that, then I feel that we can, like, following like Srila Prabhupada footstep, don't take any credit for ourselves. That's all I did. I say I just got touched when Srila Prabhupada gets so emotional. Just say it's because of you, all of you. I was able to, to put this movement together.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada appreciated his, yesterday again I was listening to Maharaj. Maharaj said Srila Prabhupada appreciated his devotees so much. Even if they were not able to follow the instructions and if they left the movement, he would become very displeased with those devotees that would talk about the circumstances under which this devotee left, right? That this devotee, did this, that's why because of offenses he left. Srila Prabhupada would become very disturbed. He would actually, he would express his displeasure by saying that you're making it impossible for that devotee to come back. These devotees have given their lives. They have sacrificed their lives for me. So he always felt that gratitude for all the devotees that had rendered service. And up to the last point, when we read the final lesson in Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, there also we will see he's always expressing his gratitude to the devotees, right? He's practically breaking down into tears every so often for all the service that the disciples and all the devotees are rendering, because this is his mission. His mission means, again, we saw both ways. My spiritual master pulled me out of this material world. He literally forced me, right? He was coming in my dreams. He forced me to take sannyas. And he's expressing gratitude to his spiritual master that he has given him this service. This is not, you see, Srila Prabhupada is not saying, I took this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the West. This is Mahaprabhu's mission. He's saying, my Guru Maharaj, he took up this mission. He never took any credit that I am the one who finally came out and he's saying, my Guru Maharaj, he took up this mission. He wanted to fulfill the desire of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then all of you are helping me in carrying out his mission. You are so glorious. He's so glorious. You are so glorious. So Srila Prabhupada's humility. And also in Lilamrita, we will see, all his god brothers who would come to visit him. He would beg forgiveness from them. He would say that I'm patita. I'm the most fallen. I used words like, I was harsh when I was preaching. I would say, you rascal, and things like that. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And the god brothers, they would say, like Puri Maharaj was there. He said, Prabhupada, you are not patita. You are Prabhupada said, I'm Mahapatita. And this is not something, it's not just being spoken by lips. He's feeling like that. And Maharaj said, Puri Maharaj said, you are not Mahapatita. You are Mahapatita Pavana. You are the deliverer of Mahapatitas. You took this message and opulence followed you. This means Krishna is with you. You are not Patita at all. But Prabhupada's humility, he was always, never taking any credit for himself. And of course, at times it was required only for our benefit, right? If you just keep glorifying your children all the time, then they get spoiled. So when you take that role of a leader, you have to correct them, chastise them for their own benefit. But what is actually in his heart, we see in this lecture. He's always extremely grateful for any service rendered by anyone. So then after Srila Prabhupada's departure, then what is our duty? What is our duty? Yeah, so Prabhupada says that also in those purports. Srila Prabhupada says the disciple must carry on the instructions given by the spiritual master. As long as he's carrying on, holding on to so what are the instructions? The message is the same. We have to keep ourselves in good standing, first of all, again, following the instructions of chanting at least 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles, and very importantly, spread this mission. That's why Srila Prabhupada took so much trouble to come, and the way we have been saved, now we should extend our hand to those who have not yet been touched by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah.
Mother Anna, would you like to say something? Some of them I think are listening at work or doing other service, but I want to make sure that it's open to anybody who wants to offer their gratitude. I was just thinking, we always keep saying about Prabhupada, preaching and coming to the West and preaching to the English speaking. But I also have to say that not only the Mayavadis in India, but even the completely misguided Indians. I still remember going to the temple only to ask something. Even, I remember when I was very young, I had written a wrong answer on my test. And I was praying, please make Calcutta the capital of Bangladesh, because that is what I had put on but that has been the understanding for the longest time, that when we want something, you go to the temple and you beg very hard, and you will, even that small, and it's not small, it is a very big thing, that's not the purpose. He's not our order supplier. That's not the way to look at Krishna. That's not the way to look at the Supreme Personality. So I think, yes, he preached to and I think in preaching to the, his disciples here, and their continuing is what has helped me. So, I'm just grateful in so many ways. We do hear from him directly, but a lot of understanding has come through his disciples who have understood his message and are continuing to make people like me understand. I'm very slow progress, but like you had said, let me not worry about how little my progress is. Let me be happy with the progress I have made and continue on in that process. So anybody else, if you would like to say something. But thank you very much, Archana Bhakti Mataji, for helping us through this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you very much. It's a nice class, nice information. about Kalpesh Prabhu, what he did and what you said, and Golakanda Mataji. See, all these, put together, it's a good information today morning. And we are so unlucky. I was there close to that place when Prabhupada was there in Cuttack, Orissa. I must have seen him, but I don't have the knowledge. See, the time also Krishna has to fix. He is the Kala, that's what he says. So I always think we were in Cuttack, and I went to the Ratha Yatra. I used to go to Puri every week, and Calcutta also we went. I must have seen him. Just like other gurus, just I had obeisances, that's all. I didn't know anything about that. But at this age, I am knowing all those things. So that makes me very touchy too. So what unfortunate I am. When I was close to that place, I couldn't understand. So that is his, I don't know how to express. So that feeling I got today. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you so much. The feeling is important, Mataji. So by Prabhupada's mercy, by Krishna's mercy, you're feeling that affection for a pure devotee, that is Krishna's blessing. So better late than never.
That's true. But no, sometimes that we cannot decide any time when I will. Before my death, at least I realize now. I feel happy. That is the closest I can do.
Yeah, but Mataji, this is not the end. This is not the end. You can go and meet Srila Prabhupada.
I hope so.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Devi.
Thank you, Mata.